Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, Trump chooses spy agency official Troy Meink for Air Force Secretary. And OpenAI's GPT-4o gets the green light for top secret use in Microsoft's Azure cloud. It's Friday, January 17th, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Now let's dive into the day's top headlines. Troy Meink, a senior leader at the National Reconnaissance Office, is President-elect Donald Trump's choice to serve as Secretary of the Air Force. The former and future Commander-in-Chief announced his pick Thursday on Truth Social. As the civilian head of the Department of the Air Force, which also includes the Space Force, Meink would be responsible for leading the service during a period of wide-ranging modernization. If confirmed by the Senate, he'd be expected to play a key role in deciding the future of the next-generation air dominance program. The department is also pursuing collaborative combat aircraft, the B-21 stealth bomber, a proliferated warfighter space architecture, AI capabilities, modernized cyber and IT tools, and the DAF Battle Network, among other technologies. Meink has been serving as Principal Deputy Director of NRO, a position he was appointed to during the first Trump administration in 2020. In that role, he's been tasked with overall day-to-day management of the NRO with decision responsibility as delegated by the director. In other news, federal agencies with top-secret workloads can now use OpenAI's GPT-4o through Microsoft's Azure for U.S. government top-secret cloud. Microsoft announced Thursday it received authorization for 26 additional products in its top-secret cloud environment, meeting Intelligence Community Directive 503 standards and allowing agencies, particularly those in the intelligence community and the Defense Department, to use them for the government's most classified information. Those added tools include Azure OpenAI Service, which provides Azure customers access to OpenAI's generative AI large language models, and Azure Machine Learning, among others. Douglas Phillips, corporate vice president at Microsoft, wrote a blog post Thursday announcing the news that Azure OpenAI, quote, allows agencies and authorized partners operating in Microsoft's Azure government top-secret cloud to benefit from multimodal generative AI models such as GPT-4o, while meeting the rigorous security and compliance requirements necessary for the nation's most sensitive data. Authorized users can easily access and integrate Azure OpenAI service and further ground it into their data for more specialized and accurate intelligence, he wrote. GPT-4o is an OpenAI model that can be used for natural language understanding and processing, text summarization and classification, sentiment analysis, question answering, conversational agents, and more. It's the foundational model that the popular commercial generative AI tool ChatGPT is built upon. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, make sure to visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together each day, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back next week with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.